Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Fringe North podcast. My name is Caitlin Townsend. My pronouns are she and her, and I am the project coordinator for this year's festival. I have with me here today Rusty and Maja. Would you like to take some time to introduce yourselves and share a little bit about your submission for this year's festival?
Go ahead, Maya.
Well, we decided to call it Supercalifragilistic because we both have lived in Sault Ste. Marie and have fond memories. In fact, we're still here. And I think we wanted to focus on that and other aspects of Northern Ontario that we're, passionate about, connected to.
Yes,
In a word.
in 2 words.
That's very
That's
exciting.
right. So most of the songs that we're doing, and I don't think we're doing skits in this particular one, but most of the songs are sort of Algoma region inspired. So, songs we wrote for maybe a gig we did at the library, or there's a couple of pieces I wrote for a project I did called Great Lakes Nocturnes, which is kind of like a new age CD with titles like On Harmony Bay and stuff like that. So we're doing a couple of those in between our sort of more energetic. It's energetic, isn't it? Yes, it is.
You could dance to it. If you want to get up and dance, you could.
But yeah, it's I mean, our personalities sort of are both sort of positive.
Mhm.
Like neither of us is Bob Dylan. We're not going to take you down 20 verses into the sad-eyed lady of the lowlands. So
Definitely not.
no.
I mean, the one we do have one skit, but it's done with puppets.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yes.
It was really
And none of
fun.
the puppets were hurt
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
during the filming of. Yes.
So, with that in mind, would you consider your submission to be a little bit more like lightheartedness, is how you would describe it, or?
Maya's got a SOPO song, I call it, which is short for.
Well, it's short for socio-political, but it's not really. And I think the way we describe our variety act is part kitchen party, part cabaret. So I think that describes our energy with the performances as well. And the one song that Rusty's referring to is called Bellevue Park. And Rusty and I met many years ago in Sault Ste. Marie, and it's a song about looking back at that period of time and where we are today, because we've just started working together in the last couple of years and reconnected about 3 years ago, but have known each other for several decades, and that began in Sault Ste. Marie. So that's why especially I think meaningful and poignant for me to present this, and to there's just something about the North that's very compelling. And so there's just sort of aspects of that, tinged in our show.
That's awesome to hear. So what drew you together to start working together, having known each other for such a long time, and then just recently wanting to work together as artists? What sparked that?
Um,
2017?
yeah, I guess I locally produce a lot of people's CDs and in my studio, and Maya was up seeing something, a concert somewhere, and I ran into her, and I said, "Have you ever done a CD yet?" And Maya went, "No, I haven't done a CD yet." I said, "Well, let's do it," and we started doing it. It took a couple of years because she was living in St. Catharines and I was here. But eventually we got it done about 3 years ago, I guess.
2017.
Oh, it's very
Four,
exciting.
5, yeah. It's like the last 2 years don't count, right? Because they're like COVID years.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't exist, but they existed, all right. But yes,
started coming up and helping MC different events. Rusty
Yes.
had Little Lilith Fair and New Year's Eve performances, and Neil Young night, other events.
It was all fun.
So we were having fun.
I would create a gig and lure her up as like the MC.
Yeah.
So she'd come up from St. Catharines and
it worked. And I got to perform.
And the next thing you know, we were having a relationship.
Well, business and romantic and the music. So that was pretty spectacular way to be able to work together as well. And
yes.
There were parts that I've been working on Cabaret with different people, original Cabaret, and it's such a great. I just love the intimacy of it and the variety show aspect. And Rusty plays all kinds of styles of music, and have lots of fun playing dress ups. So it worked out. Get to play dress ups, and he gets to play different styles of music, and it's a variety show.
And we just finished our first CD
together, yeah.
And
Rusty and Maja.
And basically we did everything that we cut on the CD that we do in our show. So so there's like 19 songs. So that's a big.
Yes.
It was a big project anyway.
It would be.
So thank God for COVID, but so we got it finished, right? So because we had nothing else to do, we had cabin fever, and all our musician friends in Toronto and out east did tracks for like basically free. They're just they recorded them at home and sent them virtually to us, and then we put it together. And so we still have to do the artwork, but we're that close, just doing the artwork, and then we're going to throw it out to the world.
Nice.
And see what happens.
Watch out.
Yeah, watch out.
Duck.
It's very exciting.
Watch out. We'll be here doing a gig. Oh, yes.
So what is, with that in mind, having done the CD prior to COVID and then one during COVID, what is the different, how did you have to shift approaches in a pandemic compared to doing a project pre-pandemic?
Oh, well, it wasn't too dissimilar.
Okay.
Because Maja was in St. Catharines and I was here. I was recording with a local drummer here, and piano player was in Toronto. So it was almost the same scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And the other difference between the project is, well, for one of them we were separated, and for this one we're together. So the together thing's been a lot of fun. We do little, you give us an occasion and we'll put together some video for it, We're just having fun learning that because, well, we've had to. So
we've done several online variety shows now, calling them the Great Lakes variety shows with different, we've done, I don't know, done maybe 5 or 6. They're getting shorter because we made them too long, I think, initially. And it was probably, we were having a lot of fun, but I don't know.
And then we go on to YouTube and let's see how long people watched it. And they're like,
they didn't
7 seconds.
He's exaggerating.
I'm exaggerating, but you go, it's like 40 minutes long.
It's too long.
They only lasted 6 minutes. Oh my God. They didn't even get to the good stuff.
Yeah, I think with a piece of that too is like as COVID goes on, like near the start, people were willing to sit for longer periods, but now everyone's kind of getting digital fatigue.
Yeah, sure.
So with like timestamps in mind, I'm sure there's some really thrilling things that happen in your submission further along. So maybe you could share a little bit about what pieces to watch out for or to keep an eye open for the audience.
We're looking at our list.
Yeah.
Of course, all the pieces that I sing are special. No, I'm joking. Of course, they're not. We have the most fun when we're doing stuff together. Yeah. We're doing a bunch of songs with just, solo, like as, doing our own things. And then we sort of come together and we do these songs that are always fun, part of our cabaret thing. So it's, it's a show that moves and I don't know. It's like a pinball machine.
Oh, I've got it. I think I could say we have a song that's a tango.
that's
And
fun.
to me, that it's a great encapsulation, I think, of what we do together. Because there's there is a sort of a skit story to the song, and just because it's a tango, it's so much fun to do. We get to kind of dance a bit of tango, which I love.
It's exciting.
And also the scene at Mike's lunch. That's all I'll say about it. I think those are things that people particularly could look forward to. Yeah.
I see Mike's Lunch is not there anymore.
Do you know Mike's Lunch? It was a little diner on Queen Street.
Across some stones, yeah.
Oh.
But now it's.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. So
I don't know. It's something
that's
else
all right.
now.
It's you'll get the idea of a diner in Sault Ste. Marie.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds really exciting. So having known each other for so long and then only working together for the past couple of years, would you say that over the years, because you were both in the artistic space prior to that as well, did your friendship influence each other's arts prior to coming together for this project?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like when I was in Toronto playing the music scene, our bands never. Maya had a band, and we never really caught. I used to do demos for her and stuff like that.
That was actually really incredible because so that was in the late 1970s, and I would write a song in my room on guitar, and the next day I would go and visit Rusty. He'd record
I wasn't
me.
born yet, so I don't know how she did that.
And then I'd come back, and there'd be this full band sound, and it was like hearing my song on the radio for the first time. It was so incredible, the difference. So I think that Rusty in those days at the very beginning offered me that opportunity to hear what a full band would sound like. And then I did go on to have a band, but I first started playing guitar performing here. I started a coffee house called Le Monde in a church hall. That was in 1968. I don't mind saying when.
Was it?
Yeah. So to come all that way, and Rusty had performed there. Oops, he wasn't born, he says.
When I was a young man, I remember we were.
And you know what? I know how I've influenced Rusty.
Huh?
Well, Caitlin was asking about our influence because now you can, you do all that dancing and moves and characters. Like we have some of our songs have characters, so acting a bit more, I guess, right?
I don't know. I'm doing a dance class for the first time tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, salsa dance class, 11 to 12. Here we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Well, I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, so our paths did cross when we were, in the music scene in Toronto, and we played the same places and stuff like that, but never played in that band. I was in another band, but it's just so this is great. And she disappeared for a while. She was in Seattle, and she's floating around. Yeah. Anyway, now we float around together, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm curious as to your perspectives on having been down in the Toronto music scene and then up here where it's up north. What differences do you find in terms of how the music scene is approached, and what difficulties do you run into here, or benefits are there of being north as compared to the difficulties and benefits of being down in Toronto?
I mean, I personally, I think it's hard up here. I mean, you can put a cover band together and do other people's material and get lots of gigs, but you go out and try to do original material, there's no one that's going to hire you more than once, probably. So you got one gig. Where you do that same thing, original thing in Toronto, they don't want to hear you doing covers of other people's stuff. They can go see the real thing. So they want to see the original stuff. So most of the bars, you walk in, look, the bands are playing mostly their own material. They're trying to make it, right? So, I mean, so it's a big difference. And then when you come up here to a smaller thing, it's really hard to create something for yourself, right? So you always got to, I don't know, dream of a bigger pond for sure.
Or another way, like the Fringe is a fantastic way. I mean, to bring original material, to an audience. And I think one of my favorite things, I toured doing, storytelling and performance art in Canada, and my favorite places were smaller places because the audience was also a broader age range and backgrounds. And I love that, that you'd have, the taxi drivers and the artists and the doctors come out, where in Toronto, you're often performing to the same audience or the same strata of society. And that's what I really loved about performing outside of those major centers.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I imagine too that for like when you're first starting out and getting more feedback as to how to shift things and how to become more of your own artist, having that like broad demographic to get feedback from gives you a fuller picture rather than just like this one demographic that either likes it or they don't.
Exactly.
Well, that's going out and getting on the road, right, and doing your thing. But it's just
Yeah, 2 years ago, we did a performance here called Through Anne's Eyes, which was a memoir of Anne of Green Gables.
That was for the Fringe.
Yeah. And in her 60s, looking back on her life. And Rusty sort of was the presence of Gilbert, if you know who I mean, on stage and playing music. He was the male presence. And for that performance, we had all ages. And I loved that. I just so
There
delightful.
was tears.
Oh, awesome.
And male and female, I should say. Really, there was
guys sitting there crying. I'm going, what is going on? I'm used to bars and guys like screaming and banging beer bottles, but here's like guys listening and tears running down. What the heck?
See, this is one of the influences I've had.
What the heck is going on?
It's true. I don't think it would have been in a Fringe festival before. It just wouldn't have come up probably. So, thank you.
No, I was in the off Fringe.
Yeah. So building off of that, what do you find unique about like the Fringe space? Like, for example, when you're talking about this bar scene versus the Fringe and having like that, I think closer connection is a way of saying it. Whereas like in a bar, you're it's not the main event. It's more like the background has you're at the bar drinking and whatnot. So with that in mind, what are your favorite elements of the Fringe that you really enjoy when you are involved in Fringes?
When it's live, I just enjoy I can't say the circus part of it, but it's kind of like that, right? You like a couple of years ago, we were walking down the street and there's like jugglers and there's people with their costumes who are just coming or going to a performance, and they're all some fantastic kind of costume. It's like being backstage at some wacky television show or something, where all these people have just come together to make this real life circus or something happen.
Yes,
and although it's theater as well, which is it's kind of great.
And what I really love too is having the support of people that can help with tech. To be in a space that will have some kind of lighting.
Yes.
After years of doing. I've done a lot of performances in classrooms or community centers under fluorescent lights, which is fine, but to have that great opportunity to be in some kind of theater space or venue that, really enhances the performance, it's thrilling. I really love that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on today and for your time. Is there anything else before we go that you would like viewers to know about your performance or you as artists?
Not really. I mean, it's just like we're so fresh at this as a duo, like that. It's just I don't know. we're still looking for words to define it, you know. So it's
Mm.
but when you see us performing together, much like we are now, we're pretty engaging. We don't want to fight each other, and you know, there's no limelight to steal, and I just wish it was live, because that's such a beautiful thing, that energy that you get, and it's hard to get it off a screen, but
Yeah. We just hope everybody will be able to say supercalifragilistic with us when they see it.
And we'll see you next year in person.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is definitely missed to have the in-person events, and something that we're looking forward to for sure when we actually can get back to in person. Thank you for coming on today and your time, and I really appreciate it. And thank you to all of our viewers for watching and for participating in their podcast today. And come on out. The festival runs from August 19th to the 22nd. Buy tickets and support Rusty and Maja, and we hope to see you all there. Have a great day. Thank you for participating. Merci, miigwech, and gracias. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you for watching our podcast. Merci, miigwech, gracias. If you like what we're doing, you can support Fringe North and the artists involved in this year's festival financially, so that we can continue this work. Visit www.fringenorth.ca to find out more.